We all live in a story, really multiple stories. Our stories completely determine how we live our lives. These stories are made up of who our parents were, how we were raised, our experiences both growing up and as adults. During our early growing up years, our stories were almost entirely created for us, and we were simply along for the ride. As adults, though, we get to pick the story, the life we choose to live. And this is such powerful stuff. Don't get me wrong. By the time we have become adults, our early experiences have had a huge impact on the story we tell ourselves and the story we are actually living. Too often, though, we feel like the life we are living, the story we are playing the central role in, the main character in, are largely out of our control. And it looks something like this. If only I had a better boss or worked for a better company. If only I had better parents. If only I'd been born better looking, a personal favorite of mine. If only my parents had been richer. If only I'd been able to get into a better school. If only I hadn't taken drugs. Don't get me wrong. All these things can and do have a profound impact on our lives. The circumstances, the decisions we made in the past make our story today easier or harder. But this does not mean we do not have the ability to rewrite our story. In fact, I could tell you stories that start with every one of those if onlys that have had amazing, powerful, world-changing outcomes. 30 years ago, the parents of Spencer Eldon, who was at the time just 4 months old, got a phone call from a photographer friend asking if he could use Spencer in a photo shoot for an up-and-coming band named Nirvana. The parents agreed, and into the pool went the photographer and naked 4-month-old Spencer. The photo shoot lasted maybe 15 seconds, but that photo ended up on the cover of the band's album, Nevermind. The parents were paid $200, which is not very much money, but honestly, for a 15-second photo shoot 30 years ago, not that bad either. Since that time, that album cover has been one of those iconic album covers that goes along with, say, the Beatles' Abbey Road or Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. The album itself has sold more than 30 million copies. The cover has no doubt been looked at hundreds of million times. So why am I telling you this story? Because now, at age 30, Spencer is suing Nirvana. He is alleging they engaged in child pornography and that this one photo take when he was 4 months old has destroyed his life. This thing that happened to him, he had zero control over. In fact, I actually promise you he does not remember it happening. At one point in time, he actually embraced his fame. He recreated the image a number of times for various publications, and he's actually had the word Nevermind tattooed on his chest. But apparently, those efforts did not meet his expectations. So now, he has embraced failure. He is suing, looking for a payday. In his life right now, he has at least 3 choices. The first one is to get on with his life, do something productive and amazing, simply ignore what happened to him as a baby as a curiosity, because really it doesn't have much to do with anything. The second thing, and this is the right thing, use what happened to him as something that can open all kinds of doors. It could be something as simple as charging money to sign album covers. He could use it as an edge in writing a book or being a public speaker. Just the opportunities are nearly endless. None of that stuff, of course, would actually be easy, but that thing that happened to him as a baby could be an amazing launch pad. That could still be true today. The third thing that he could do, the thing that he's actually done, is let it ruin his life, and this is a great tragedy. He has let it become an excuse for an unhappy, miserable life, which is what he is claiming in the lawsuit. Here's the problem with his approach. Let's suppose for a minute that he will get all the money he asked for, which is unlikely. He will still be that same miserable person. Money won't change that. It never changes that. He will simply be known as that guy who sued Nirvana over a baby picture. And who would want to work with somebody like that? So each of us has had good things and bad things happen in our lives. Some we had no control over, and some are things that we did to ourselves. But right now, today, no matter what age you are, no matter what circumstances you are in, you have 100% control over the rest of your life, what the rest of your story will be. Go out and change the world.